maybe even dial them down a bit more. Yes, that should do. Of course, I'll do my best to ease you into things. For now, I won't mention any wily, scheming magicians or the creatures that slink and slither through their hopelessly muggy swamp. We needn't spend even a minute mulling over conniving bullies named Bernard Benedict Bumble V. It's never a good sign when a numeral appears at the end of a bully's name, is it? Or bemoaning getting singed by a magical flaming horse, whose kind many deem a legend, but are as real as the handsome nose on your face. Yes, we shall have a much cheerier start in a gloomy little pocket of Wanderley known as Ink Hollow, where a girl named Pippa North looked desperately out the doorway on an impossibly rainy day, while a mysterious stranger, wearing a more mysterious hat, slunk nearer and nearer and nearer. On second thought, that doesn't sound very cheery at all, does it? Nevertheless, these are precisely the sorts of ominous details the scribes in Wanderley would have left out, and I have pledged to tell you the whole story. Alas, a story must begin where it begins. Shall we proceed? Chapter 1. A Soggy Invitation. Pippa North stood in the doorway of her family's tiny two-bedroom cottage and took a small, very small, step backward. She was certain she'd never seen so much rain in all of her 11 years. It was falling from the sky by the bucketful. Pippa glanced down at her black-buckled shoes. Other than a few scuffs to be expected from a pair of hand-me-downs, they were in excellent shape. They looked especially smart when paired with her favorite nearly white socks, the ones with the dainty lace cuff. But regrettably, Pippa's shoes and socks were not at all well suited for the rain. A pounding even louder than the rain erupted on the steep, narrow staircase to Pippa's left. It was her 4-year-old triplet brothers, Artie, Miles, and Finn, streaking past. Miles and Finn had her 2 older sisters' fanciest and only plumed feather hats perched on their sweaty little heads, with Artie leading the charge. Pippa sighed. She waited 1, 2, 3. "Mother!" cried her 15-year-old sister Jane. "Oh, Mommy, they've done it again!" shrieked her 13-year-old sister Louisa. At a mere 8 months, the smallest North, Rose, was cradled safely in her mother's arms, but even she offered up her own plaintive little wah. The wah grew a bit louder when Pippa's mother emerged from the tiny pocket of a kitchen, waving a pancake spatula about in her free hand as if it were a magic wand. The spatula wasn't actually magical. If you find this stop a bit annoying because you have never encountered a single spatula that was magical, well, then you have never spent much time in Wanderley. The kingdom of Wanderley positively crackles with magic, which is why it is always wise to be very precise in one's descriptions. Also, as a book, I cannot help being a bit fussy with words. When she spied Pippa standing by the door, her eyes lit up. She bustled across the room, a mere 3 steps, tucked Rose into Pippa's arms with a breathless, "Thank you, dear," and then turned on the triplets. She plucked them up by the collars of their flannel pajamas, Miles and Finn in one hand, and Artie in the other, because he was just a smidge taller, and let them dangle in the air for a half moment before setting them gently down. "Boys," she said in that mysterious way mothers have of condensing an entire list of arguments into one aptly spoken word. The triplets' shoulders slumped. At a nod from Artie, the pouty-faced Miles and Finn slipped the prized hats off and into Mrs. North's waiting hands. Without bothering to look, Mrs. North expertly tossed the 2 hats over her shoulder, where